Hey everybody, so welcome to the channel. So yesterday we had some great news yesterday on Palantir. I was waiting on it. I was just taking a break from hanging out at the water park yesterday, and there's a lot of thunder and stuff like that, so they shut down the rides for a little bit. But in that time I was checking the earnings dropped around 4 p.m. So I was watching that and I was just blown away like everybody else how much they got that $1 billion in revenue already. A little bit shy, a little over $1 billion, billion point 004 at what it was. So it's just surpassing expectations by millions. And just the year over year, it's up 48%. But there's so many different numbers you can get into, but they beat on everything across the board. And then in a way I was expecting them to beat, but not at these great numbers. And then just the way the market reacted, I was I was kind of cautious that Monday and even Friday not to buy too crazy, or I'm just leaving it, just doing my DCA. But and then it went up, the watching it go up, and after hours and today trading up, and I got some more in the morning. But I'm just, other than that, I'm just continuing my DCA path forward here. But yeah, great news, and I watched the call. I definitely recommend any of you guys just check out, just do YouTube search and just look for Palantir earnings call. I think it's like 45 minutes, but I check that out every time after every Palantir earnings results. I'm kind of steadfast there and just watching that every quarter for last year, just to get a good take on what the company's doing and everything like that. And of course, you just see all the characters in the call and then everything like that. It's fun to watch, and then you get a great perspective of what's going on with the company. So as far as earnings, of course they beat on revenues. Uh, they're over $1 billion in revenue. Their GAAP net income, I think it was 321 million. Um, they beat that as well. They beat that. And adjusting earnings per share was supposed to be at 14, but they came in at 16 cents. And adjusting operating margin is 46%. Cash flow, and it's 569 million adjusted free cash flow. So there's the cash keeps coming in. So yeah, it was a good highlight of my day, besides the dueling coasters that I went on. Um, just with family there and just getting in the same way with, it's a good thing to get in early into Palantir, and it's also get early on those rides you want to get into first, um, early in the day. That's what I learned my lesson there. Always the best rides, got to get there early. The same with stocks, kind of best companies, be there early. But it's never too late. Even now, I'm still building up my what I want in my bag I want to get to. I know you guys are too. Some of you guys are maybe way earlier than me, or I mean, early per se, but maybe you have a lot more shares, and you see some of these people out there that have like these huge bags, and I mean that takes a lot of commitment, and a lot of people don't have that kind of, even that cash even at the time, just to throw down and make that commitment. Uh, so I did buy some of it, but I've been DCAing ever since, every day. Um, Instead of like a weekly or monthly, I think like daily for me, it feels like I'm contributing every day, every market day. So I'm just slowly building it up. And I do some lump sums here and there, not a lot, a couple shares here and there, but not that big purchase. And I didn't dive heavy into lump summing even after the earnings. I got some, bought some more, little lump sum here, but then I just continue with the DCA, and maybe we'll get some downdraft here, or maybe it's kind of due for a pullback, so maybe I'm thinking that, but I think that's the best bet. Kind of don't mess with margin, and then I'm not messing with any cover calls or anything like that. I learned my lesson way long time ago with Tesla. Never got called out, but it's you have that worry there, and then how fast Palantir is moving, you could easily get called out and lose your shares from way back when. And I'm not touching playing with that, even if it's like a little extra income here. I'm not gonna risk it getting called out. But yeah, just go online and check out those numbers. Um, like even a great tool lately, I'm just doing ChatGPT, like looking at all the giving you a breakdown and stuff like that. You can do the same thing. And yeah, I think the evaluation is pretty high, but I think Palantir, like Lucid, is gonna, you know, the PE, they're gonna build into that, and the PE is gonna fluctuate as each quarter goes. So they don't adjust the PE, and it's like every quarter. So eventually that PE is gonna drop. I think it's around 600 now or something like that, and eventually gonna drop to 300, 150, 140. It's gonna equal out down the road. That's just my thoughts there. So I'm just gonna keep doing my DCA there. There's other ones I'm watching, but I'm kind of second guessing, like why put those money in those smaller companies. Just Palantir is just it's beating everything. Like the S&P 500, it's way beating everything like that. It's almost like as a fund manager, you could almost just like could have just bought Palantir the whole year, and you would, I'm doing awesome. And just I bought Palantir, but but you gotta, as a fund manager, I know you can't just be in one thing. That would be way too risky. And other things, we got to look out for. Like I hope Palantir kind of that consumer money they're getting from the consumer. Hopefully, consumer side of it. Hopefully that starts to be higher than relying on the government purse strings there. Just worry about all that. So I hope that starts to shift, and I think it will. And I just think there's so many good things to come. And I think that revenue is going to keep coming unless there's something. Only fear is if the government, if our debt, if they're trying to do some cutting costs and they cut that side of the Palantir's business, it could cause some pain. But I really don't see it. There's nobody out there comparable to Palantir as far as working with the government. I know Big Bear AI, I have some of that, but they don't do the same thing as Palantir, and their business is way minuscule compared to Palantir. Can't even compare right now, and I don't think the government wouldn't switch and go to Big Bear, which it really works on other things compared to what Palantir does. They do similar in the AI, but they're just, one does a lot of data analytics and one does tools. So you can't switch them out like that and expect things to just work. So they're relying on Palantir for a long time, and I think there's nobody out there that's really competing with Palantir in that AI analytics space. And yeah, I think this could be a trillion dollar company down the road. Yeah, I mean they were kind of making the billions, even 2020 21. I think that's revenue as a total. But now they're doing that per quarter. So I think the revenue in 2000, like 4 years ago, was like 1.5 billion. Sorry. Uh, Now it's 1 billion per quarter. So they're almost doing 4 billion per year over year almost. That's what I'm looking at. I could have read those numbers wrong. Don't take me at my word here fully, but that's what I'm looking at. Uh, but anyways, if you like this video, like, subscribe. Just my opinion here, not a financial advisor. I hope you had a great day yesterday and today. And yeah, I had a blast yesterday at the water park in South Florida. It's called Rapids Water Park. I've been there a couple times, but and I also been to a lot with Orlando and just the different water parks there, and it is comparable, and it's right around the corner, so you can't beat that. But we'll be back for other things like the wave pool and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, go Palantir. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Palantir OGs for life. Peace.